we don't have clear legal provisions on how we are dealing with deforestation, because we're not interested. All we're looking at was the revenue coming in. So if you have the forest and you can grade it and plant cocoa trees, at the end of the day we get the revenue from it, we're okay. And there was no consumer guilt of what was happening, because the forest was large, but now with the reducing rate and the increasing rate of deforestation, there are concerns. Can we sustain this? Deforestation and cocoa, there's any time you speak on cocoa, the next thing that comes is deforestation.
Nous avons des dispositions juridiques relatives à la valorisation de la production durable. On peut citer la certification par exemple. Et nous avons des dispositions, des textes juridiques qui réglementent la certification. Et je veux bien lire cette définition qui me plaît très bien. Procédure par laquelle un organisme accrédité donne une assurance écrite qu'un produit, un processus ou un service est conforme aux exigences spécifiées. Donc, article 1 du décret.
Very important to note. And the other reason why we began with looking at the law from Ghana, the law from the Côte d'Ivoire, and also looking at how legal reform and sector reform has worked in one sector of Ghana's natural resources, is to come to the point that we are now, that there is a process that is going on at the EU level. And I have been in a meeting that somebody said whether producer countries like Ghana and Côte d'Ivoire, whether we like it or yes, the EU is going ahead with some of these policy and regulatory reforms. And it is up to us to strategically position ourselves to take advantage or to be in a position to meet some of these legislative and regulatory reforms. And that is why it's important that we understand some of these issues. I know legal things and policy things can be a bit boring, but it's important that we set the context right.
Donc pour introduire, je vais juste rappeler quelques mots du discours du président de la République le 1er octobre 2020 lors des journées nationales du cacao et du chocolat. C'est à cette journée-là que le prix pour la campagne 2020-2021 a été annoncé.
Now, at a point, I think that we realize that there has been a lot of strategies that the Cocoa Board put in place in order to have the sector move forward. And one of it was the decision to pass on an increasing share of export prices to producers. Basically, at the point, there was a realization that farmers, as it is, are one of the critical, and if I should say, probably the main, stake in there. For that matter, there was a need to see how we could channel a lot or a chunk of export earnings to them.
But when it comes to the use for civil society, taking the background, as I mentioned, this is a voluntary CFI, for instance, is a voluntary commitment. So, for CSOs, then one good use case or one good use of the accountability framework is that it becomes an appropriate tool for assessing commitments that companies or governments or nations make with respect to whatever their operations within the forestry and the agricultural sector. So first, I didn't go into details how the accountability framework is structured, but it's structured in a way that the first 3 principles, you use it to assess commitments. Then the principles from 4 to 12, you use it to assess how commitments are implemented, monitored, and reported. So what we did was to use the framework to assess the commitment of Ghana's CFI, and also assess implementation of the commitments and how it has been monitored and verified and reported.
So, in terms of what is good for the farmers, and this is my feeling, my appreciation of it. I think because it is being developed within the African setting specifically, so probably there's a better understanding of the developers of our situation than if it was coming from outside. But it is still a certification standard, and with all certification standard, no matter how low the bar is, once it is developed, it's going to keep on increasing and increasing and increasing. So that will catch up sooner or later. What I like about it is that they use the national institute. So in Ghana, for example, the Ghana Standard Authority is involved in development and also is involved in the consultation phase. So that, I feel, will take a lot of the concerns, the local concerns into account.
It could be that on paper, the prices will be set and probably enforcement is happening, but when it comes to monitoring and the actual money that goes to the farmer's pocket, because of some of these loopholes within our system, the farmers will still not be guaranteed a living income.
The LID is good generally for the Southeast, but you realize that the farmer challenges are hydra-headed, in that it comes in all kind of form, an octopus kind of challenge.
Discussion to see whether truly the percentage of the living income differential that is being paid to the farmer is really bringing the desired benefits.
At the end of the day, if the farmer is happy, it translates to so many things. Higher production, commitment to producing cocoa. We all bear witnesses that some farmers, out of frustration, would want to leave the sector.
Let me be generous with the bags of cocoa. It's between 12 and 15. So let me take the higher side, which is 15 bags. That will give you 9,900 Ghana cedis. So for 1 hectare, you will sell and get 9,900 cedis. The cost of production is 7,500 cedis. So in effect, the farmer makes 2,400 Ghana cedis for the whole year. So 2,400 cedis, even divided by 12 months in a year, that means the cocoa farmer makes like 200 cedis a month. So 660 cedis per bag is fine in absolute terms. But when you do all the calculation, it's nothing to write home about.
What's so-called the stealing kilos from the farmers, it's not coming from only the pieces. It's not from the source.
If we should maintain, if the assurance or the promises are fulfilled, it will help us. But for now, I don't think we are better off from the way things are moving in my village.